Hi everyone, welcome to our video. Today we're going to be looking at the Falls Recovery Sling. It's a sling designed to get people from the floor, obviously having fallen. The issue with falling people, if you're a person that's hoisted, you won't generally tend to fall. So these people aren't normally hoisted and therefore they haven't been assessed for the correct size sling. This is a one size fits all, unless we're talking about bariatrics, and obviously the sling wouldn't be big enough for somebody very large. But in general, the staff that are going to be using this, either in a care home, out in the community, in hospitals, etc., they're already trained on how to use hoisting slings. It's part of their basic manual handling training. So there's no specialist training required. It comes with instructions, and as you're watching this today, obviously there's the video that they can watch as well as a refresher. So I'm just going to grab it out of the bag and show you the components. It's based on a comfort recline sling. It comes in a bag with a slightly tacky and sticky outside. There's a reason for that, which you'll see in a little while. Velcro closing, and if I delve into there, I can take out the sling itself. So this is the sling, bright yellow on one side, black on the other. So the black side of the sling is a spacer fabric, comfort recline sling with head support at this top end here, and at the bottom it has a leg extension piece. The bright yellow underneath is actually slide sheet, and the idea behind this is if you have somebody that's fallen on the floor, they may be somewhere that the hoist can't get close enough to them, or they may be in a care home in the middle of a day room with a huge audience of people sat in the day room having cups of tea. They may not want to be hoisted off the floor in front of everybody. It could be embarrassing. So once you've got them onto this on the floor, you can then slide them somewhere safe or somewhere more accessible for the hoist. In order to do that, if I go back into the bag again, it comes with a set of straps. These straps will just clip on to the sling itself. So you'll notice there's loops on here at the top and the bottom, and we can just clip on a strap. So I'll just take one for now. Clip it onto the head end, both sides. It then gives you a long handle to be able to move that person safely along the floor. So if I lay this thing out for you, I now have a handle that I can use to slide somebody. In this case, from the foot end, I could have attached a handle or attached one of the additional handles at the head end. So you can attach multiple handles if you need them for more staff, if you've got something that's a bit heavier. Also, the last thing in the bag is just the set of instructions that comes with it. So you get a set of instructions in every bag. That should hopefully stay in there. I mentioned before about the bag being a bit tacky on the outside. What we'll tend to find with these slings is you'll hoist somebody from the floor up into an armchair or back into a wheelchair if they've slipped out of the wheelchair. Now the issue with this sling then becomes when the underside being slide sheet, the person's just going to slide out the chair. So what we will do, and I'll show this properly later, put this onto the chair, it sticks to the base of the chair and it sticks to the slide sheet when the person lands on it, therefore stops them sliding out of the chair. Give them a cup of tea, glass of water, blood pressure comes back to normal, they're feeling fine, and they will stand up and walk off with their frame. So it comes with a bag, the sling itself, the straps to allow you to move somebody around, and obviously the user instructions. So we're going to go on to now use it with the hoist. I'm going to get one of my colleagues in here to be my victim on the floor, and we're going to hoist him up, put him in the chair and show you how it all works together. Okay, so now we have our volunteer. Matt's kindly agreed to be our person that we're going to hoist from the floor. I'm going to get the sling out of the bag, we're going to fit it underneath him. Standard moving and handling techniques. Obviously the downside to this is you're working at low level on the floor, so you're going to be on your hands and knees. Now I'm going to ask Matt for a little bit of assistance because I'm doing this on my own for you guys in the front of the camera. Most scenarios you'd have two carers doing this, but again, in an emergency situation you may only have one family member or one carer that's able to do this for you. So we're going to get the sling out of the bag, get everything ready. Don't need the straps just yet. Unfold this and lay it out next to Matt ready, so we've got the right way up. So we have a label on here which shows a person lying down. That denotes which way the head and foot end goes. So as you can see, Matt's in line with this picture. We know that we've got this the right way around. When we're actually fitting it, we want this band across here with the pommel and this strap to be level with Matt's knees, just slightly above the knee. That way, when we're actually fitting and hoisting, the pommel here will fit between the thighs and we'll get a nice comfortable lift for Matt from the floor. So I'm just going to move this out of the way just for a second. So the first thing we need to do is get Matt in the position ready. So we're going to roll him on his side, exactly the same as you do on a changing table, on a bed, when you're doing your personal care tasks and hoisting. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm just going to put my hand under there and bend his knee up. And if you put your hands across your tummy for me, and I'm just going to gently push, and Matt's going to help me just to roll onto his side. Now Matt's going to stay there. If we had a second carer, they could be supporting from the other side, so there could be two of us doing this. Take the sling, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll the sling up towards the yellow, so it's rolling underneath itself, and pop this behind Matt's back, like so. That way, Matt's going to roll back onto this. There you go. And if I just come around this side, what I can then do is take the roll of material and just unroll it this way to get this through. And we've got Matt nicely on the sling. So let's just straighten out the leg piece underneath here, like so. Now in this case we've got plenty of room, I don't need to move him, but I'm just going to attach one of the straps just to show you how easy it is to move somebody if you had to move them to a different position. So again, going into the bag, take out your set of straps. I'm going to attach one, in this case to the foot end. Clip the strap onto either side. One there, and one you'll see just on that side there. And should I have needed to move Matt, I can actually then just slide Matt gently towards me. We'll use another strap, this time at the head end, to pull him back towards the hoist, because he didn't actually need moving in the first place. So whichever direction we need to move Matt, again I'm just going to gently pull backwards and slide, so we can go as far as we need to get Matt into a safe position and somewhere we've got access for the hoist to get to him. So I'm going to remove the straps before we hoist, because we don't want to catch these on anything and create a hazard for the actual hoisting manoeuvre itself. I'm going to bring the hoist, ideally if you can at the head end. It's always best at the head end, because when you lower the hoist down to a low level, the straps here are shortest on the shoulder, and you'll see they're much longer on the leg. If you bring the hoist in from the foot end, you're bringing the carry bar closer to the longest straps, furthest away from the short straps, which is not ideal. So I'm going to use the pommel straps here, loop the outer strap through the pommel, same on the other side, and this is where I said before it should be just above Matt's knee, this bar here across the sling, and we're pretty much ready to go now. So the only other thing I'm going to do, if you've got one available, a pillow or a cushion, I'm just going to ask Matt to lift his head, pop a cushion under there. It's more comfortable and it also protects his head from the hoist as we bring the hoist in. And one thing that I'm not doing, which I should really be, I'm busy talking to you guys, I should be talking to Matt, explaining what's happening as well. So I'll bring this in and put Matt's head right into the corner of the hoist. And I'm going to put the brakes on. The general rule when hoisting, we never hoist with the brakes on. This is the only time we break that rule. and you'll see I'm not going to actually hoist him with the brakes on. I'm going to do a partial lift, which we'll see in a second. So I'm going to attach the straps onto the hoist. I'm going to go with the orange. Go for the shortest one that you can get access to. If the white one is too short, we don't want to be physically lifting to attach it, but I can quite easily attach the orange, so that's what I'm going to go for. We do have head support straps as well. I'm not going to use them because I know Matt's got good head control, but if we needed them, we'd just attach those and adjust the tension should we need them. Now, if we can't reach with the leg strap, which is quite often, we can either lift Matt's legs for him or just ask Matt, can you bend both your knees up for me? Once we do that, you can easily attach those straps. Use the longest strap on the leg, which will be the black one. And then we're going to start to lift. We're going to leave the brakes on and just hold the pommel there. So Matt will start to almost come into a seated position. So again, should we need the head support, if we needed head support, we could attach that and bring Matt's head forward, but he's got good head control, so we don't need that. Now at this position here, Matt is safe. His arms are inside, his head is clear of the ground. We haven't hoisted him yet because his bottom is still on the floor. So now we take the brakes off. So we're not breaking the rules. The brakes are off for lifting a person, but leave the brakes on until we've got the person up in a good safe position where we're not going to run over his fingers, we're not going to bang his head with the hoist, and then we can continue with the lift. It'll get Matt in a reasonable seated position. We've used the orange loop, which means he's going to be semi-reclined, but it doesn't matter. We're just about getting him off the floor at the moment. And you can see the bottom section there, that's only in use when he's sliding on the floor to protect his heels. Okay, so I'm just going to bring any old chair in. Obviously, if this was a real situation, Matt would probably have an armchair, a wheelchair somewhere we're going to sit in, or even a dining chair. So I'm just going to bring the hoist around so that Matt's at a good angle for you to see what we're doing next. So bring the hoist in, always at an angle. And don't worry about positioning the chair to get Matt's bottom right down straight. We can worry about that once we get a bit lower. Now the issue I said before, when we looked at the equipment, the bag, this slide sheet will slide on the chair and Matt's going to be at risk of sliding off. So we take the bag itself, pop that onto the chair. That will now stick to the seat and it will stick to the sling once we land. I'm just going to pop that on there. Start to lower Matt until his bottom is nearly on the chair. And when there's just about an inch difference, we can start adjusting the chair or adjusting Matt's position using the sling. Gently push him back. Chair's tipping slightly, the hoist will lower the chair back down. We've got Matt sat nice and safely. Mind the carry bar. And we've quite easily then hoisted somebody from the floor. Like I said before, it's a one size fits all. So you don't need to assess for a particular size or style of sling. There's no aperture to fall through if somebody was very slim. It doesn't matter if they're very small. Again, because there's no aperture, it means that you can put a small person in there, you just have excess material, but it's only to get them off the floor. Once Matt's feeling a bit happier and healthier, he can stand up, maybe we'll give him his Zimmer frame and he can happily walk off and go back to the dining room or back to his bedroom. So I hope that's okay for everyone. If you've got any questions, our details will follow. Feel free to give us a call, email us, and we'll answer any questions you've got. Thank you.